Ladies and gentlemen, it's Benny Safdie. I can't believe it. The Rock's physique in this movie is insane.
He gained 40 pounds. I said to him, I need you to get bigger.
How do you have that conversation with someone?
That's where I'm like, F it, I'm just gonna do it.
Like, massive fan of Good Time, massive fan, Uncut JAAAAAMMSSS.
Uncut JAAAAAAMMSSS.
Right.
Was Julia Fox really the muse for Uncut JAAAAAAMMSSS?
Right.
Never.
You don't even.
How did you get away with playing someone who's like mentally impaired?
The pan and the
Wait. We looked for somebody who could play that part.
And he said, F it, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore too. I didn't have to have that facial hair, dye my hair. You know, they could have done that every day. But I thought I need to get comfortable with it.
He's got balls, kid. Like, you got balls.
The prosthetics for Dwayne Johnson in this movie are insane. And more importantly, the thing everyone's really wondering is how did you give The Rock hair? Yo, direct the podcast.
Let's
please.
do it.
It might be our best episode
Yeah, I
ever.
think so.
Yeah, because this show sucks.
You just gotta zoom in close, and then you could do whatever the hell you want from there.
Oh, yeah, dude. Are you gonna wear headphones?
I don't know. This is a question. I was like, do you want me to wear?
Do you want to know why we wear them?
Yes.
Okay, so
I know why. You got to hear what you sound like if you're on the microphone. Yeah. I'm
Ready
a
for
member of Local 52 as a boom operator, so.
this guy's good.
What don't you do? This is crazy.
Here, look, this is.
Yeah?
I'll show you.
So, we could take.
Should I wait and take it out on the thing?
No, this is great.
You're on the thing.
I'm on. This is happening right now. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very proud. Right there. Look at that.
What is it?
This? I also like it.
Your Metro card?
No, it's my card.
What?
Local 52. I got the stamps.
What is Local 52? It's a boom operating
Well,
company?
it's
A
the
union.
it's the trade union.
Yeah.
So
Big union guy.
yeah, I love it.
You do like the union?
I do.
Really?
Yeah.
It
you know-
protects you
Yeah.
in your
exact-
work.
Exactly.
What if you... Well, first off, ladies and gentlemen, it's Benny Safdie.
Thank you.
I can't believe it. Oh, man, this is great. Dude, sorry we're late.
No worries.
I do a thing. I'm going to do it now. Welcome back to Impulsive, the #1 podcast in the world. Thank you for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Very special guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Benny Safdie. I did it twice.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I did it twice. Dude,
I'll take it.
Thanks for being so chill.
Yeah.
12 minutes late. We suck.
No, you don't. This is good.
What were we even doing? Oh, we got stuck in traffic.
Traffic.
New York
Yeah.
City
It's a
traffic.
fucking
You would know a
traffic.
thing. or
Of
two
course,
about
that's the
that.
thing is like you always but there's a good what you realize is like that's why I'm not too upset is because like at some point you just got to be like, look, it is what it is, and you'll get there.
Do you ever get to a point where it is what it is that you have to remind yourself that we actually live on a spinning rock
Oh.
that's hurtling through space?
Oh, for
and the
sure.
only reason we're stuck to the ground is because it's spinning so quickly.
Well, the thing I always love to say is like everybody talks about astronauts going in space, and like we're in space
Yeah.
right now. Think about that.
How crazy is that?
Hey, I don't need to go into space. I'm already in space.
This guy's got a point.
I'm on the planet, which is in space. So
It's so true.
New movie,
Yes.
Smash Machine.
That's right.
We saw it last night.
Oh,
Yes,
killer.
sir. Yes,
it was
sir.
awesome. Shout out to A24 for letting us come to the office and watch it. They took great care of us. Got to ask you a question.
Yes.
Massive fan of Good Time, massive fan, Uncut JAAAAAMMSSS.
Yeah.
Like goated movies for
Okay.
real. One was about criminals in New York City. The next one, criminals in New York City. Why the history of mixed martial arts?
Well, you know, it's so DJ. He told me he had seen this documentary, you know, about Mark Kerr, and he's like, I just feel he just felt very connected to him, and he said, just watch it and just see. And as soon as I saw him, I was just like, I don't know why, but I get this guy. I love this guy. And then I love boxing. You know, I'm a big boxing fan. I love combat sports. There's just something about I went to a UFC fight with my stepfather in 2002, you know, and I think it was the Mohican Sun.
OG.
Yeah. So
Nice Uncut Gems callback.
Oh yes, exactly. So it was like, and back then especially, it was you'd have like capoeira versus like judo or capoeira versus wrestling, and it really was this insane kind of experiment. Like, what is this? What are we going to do? What are we going to figure out? Who's the best fighter? What's the best fighting style? And you'd see the tapes in the video store and like the band shit, like all that stuff, and it was exciting, you know. But when I saw Mark, he's just this kind of incredible guy where he's so gentle and so kind of thoughtful and trying to understand why he is the way he is. And I thought, what a beautiful contradiction, because like when I first walked into a boxing gym to learn boxing, you know, you think, oh, they're going to be really tough and really kind of like judgmental of the fact that I can't throw a fucking punch, you know? So then you go in there, and if you are like genuinely interested in learning, they accept you and they bring you in, and it's the most incredible, loving brotherhood you could be a part of. And so I'm like, I just need to explore that part of it, you know, that like this community of people can beat the shit out of each other and then pat each other on the chest and be like, we did that.
You know who's not as easygoing? I did some commentary for an organization called Karate Combat.
Okay.
With Boss Rutan.
Yes.
So I realized quickly that all the fighters, all the people in the sport, they are very easygoing. They want to teach you. They want you to learn. But not so easygoing are the fight fans.
Oh, okay.
And I'm curious if you have any concern or worry about that community and how it's good, because I would assume a majority, a lot of the people who are going to watch this film are going to be big time fight fans.
But to that point, I wanted to be as real as possible. You know, my wife got me a shirt right before we started. It was like one of the first UFC shirts, and on the back it says "as real as it gets." And I thought, that's it. That's this movie. Everything has to be as real as it gets. The fights, this, that, and so specifically, like, I want to nail what the fights look like. And I don't want it to look like I'm doing anything fancy or tricky. I want it to look like we captured real fights in the ring that you could see flipping through your phone on like TikTok. I wanted it to be as like, I wanted you to be able to rip that to your phone and say, this is a real fight. That was like a goal of mine. And that's a high bar that I set. But part of that was I can't go in the ring. I have to stay outside purposefully. I told Maceo Bishop, the cinematographer, we have 3rd-tier passes. So you got to fight your way through to get the best shots of this stuff. So it really feels like you're there. But the ring is for the fighters, you know? They're in there, and we can see it from our point of view. And then what the rest of the movie will do is actually try and put you into the head of what it's actually like to be in the ring, all the stuff you have to deal with outside, prior, whatever. And then you got to fight too, you know? So I really approached it with so much respect for the craft and just the world. Like I approached it with so much love that I'm just like, okay, I hope that translates in the movie, because I really wanted people to watch it and be like, that's what it's like, you know?
He is right. Fight fans can be fiendish.
Yes.
They can be frenetic, and it's so interesting. So I do WWE,
Of course.
and
You
I
do
also
some insane moves.
thank you. I appreciate
I was
that.
just like, I was looking, I'm like, how in the world? Just it was one. I'm like, I didn't even know what I saw.
Yeah. I don't know what's really happening when I do it.
Yeah.
because I'm in flow state.
Yeah, exactly.
But I appreciate that. But enough about me. But it's really interesting going from a WWE audience to like a UFC combat, some mixed martial arts audience. Dude, it's like a different audience. They are insane. They're rabid, essentially.
I'm excited though.
Well, I think what I was gonna say is, because of the respect you're describing that you put into the making of this film, they're gonna have no choice but to love it. You could
awesome.
feel it. The creative choices you made, like staying outside the ring. When I was watching it, it's funny you articulate it like that, because when I was watching it, I remember thinking like, yo, this I'm a huge fight fan.
Yeah.
I'm really into this.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like a choreographed fight. It looks like I'm kind of at a fight.
Yes.
Not like, but I'm not, the cameras aren't in the ring.
Yeah.
The wide shot looks so good.
Yes.
So good.
What are you shooting on to give it that like kind of grainy, is it like film?
Yeah, 16 millimeter film.
Wow.
So we shot on 16 millimeter film, and then it was funny because like we were always like in our heads, we're like, okay, 16 millimeter, and then I wanted it to be like on the biggest screen possible, so like an IMAX screen. So it was like, how do we figure out how to get 16 millimeter onto IMAX level size? And it's literally, it was like this. The film is this big. You know, it's that small. And so we had to do all this stuff. You scan it, you do all this stuff to it.
Yep.
And then, but it has a certain quality to it. the way that the lenses hit the light, all that stuff, but it has a texture.
It does.
And it also makes the way that the camera is so small that it makes you move a specific way.
Yeah.
And so we watched a lot of documentaries just to kind of get into like, how do you get around? So at some point it's like, okay, there's only so much you can hide. People are getting picked up and thrown down.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting taken down, they're taking down. And it's like, but like, so I realized, oh, if you start here and then the camera runs down to get a better shot, then you can hide the punch. And it doesn't look like you're doing that, you know? But then there was a moment where like, DJ's like, there's a really specific fight where you just can't fake it. He's like, from the beginning, he's like, I'm gonna have to take it. I'm gonna have to get punched. And he's like, it's like they call it laying it in.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, it's just gonna have to happen. And the day if the fight, I didn't want to be like, hey, remember what you said? So it's like he came in and he's like, all right. He started telling the guy, the fighter, he's like, because that's the other thing is I also wanted all real fighters in the movie to play the fighters because I wanted that. I wanted to work with them to figure out how it was going to be right. Like, and we would do stuff, be like, is that good? They're like, no, it would be like this. I'd be like, great, let's change it.
Yeah.
You know, it was a constant conversation. And so in that moment, he's talking to the guy, he goes, you got to hit me. You got to just don't knock me. Don't knock me here. Don't knock me here. But just punch me with everything you've got and lay it in with the knee. And you see it in the movie.
Oh, you feel all those shots so much.
And it's
the big one for me was the headbutt.
Oh my God.
That scene was
Well, because you added your soundtrack.
Oh, yes.
A masterclass.
Oh, man.
in
Thank you,
sound.
man.
And you coordinated it perfectly with the strikes.
Yeah. That's great. That's Nala Sinefro. I don't know if anybody, she did an incredible job with the score. And she's like this amazing jazz musician. And she put together all these people. And I just remember watching it with them as we were kind of like figuring it out. And the drummer just right in time with the fight, watching the fight, going at it. And she just put herself in his head. And it's not what you'd think it would be, but it makes sense, you know?
Does she do all the music for it? Because one thing I noticed about this one that was like, you saw some of it in Uncut and some of it in Good Time, but like this one had so many cool like song choices.
Yeah.
Like I remember I heard Sublime within the first couple of minutes, and it was actually the sadness for the movie kicked in a little bit right off the bat because I was like, wow, late 90s and early 2000s are now a decade piece.
Yes.
That's how old I am.
Exactly.
Like this is an era piece now. That's very sad.
And I was, so the music, like I'll pick the song choices, but she'll do like the score part of it. You know? But I was like specifically that song. And it was like so expensive. And I'm putting it in the background as if it's coming out of the stereo in the back room and they're giving an interview. So I'm sitting in the mix with Skip, who's like a legend. And he did like Gravity and all that stuff.
Sick.
So, and Roma. But he does a lot of stuff, but he's amazing. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I want it to sound like it's in that corner, bouncing off the walls so that it really feels like we're in the room.
I thought someone was playing it outside the theater at first at age 4, and I was like, is someone playing Sublime outside? And then I realized, wow, they spent money on the score.
And then it's also, then you got Sugar Ray in the doctor's office, there's a Faith Hill, and then like, I wanted all the songs to be like real radio songs.
Tempted by the Fruit of Another. I heard like a bunch of throwbacks when they're at the carnival, the 80s music.
Cicada in there.
No, I saw all of it, but of course, the main star of the show is that insanely like classic Safdie's illusionary like where did that originate from?
Wait, which
dude?
was
like the same style sounds that you had in Uncut, where it's that like very mysterious illusionary sound.
What it is you're trying to find a sound that connects to the character. You know, you're trying to find something that on the show that the Curse, you know, we worked, I remember thinking like, all right, this has to be like emotional subtitles. You know, not in the sense that like, oh, sad violins, but it has to be like deep psychoanalysis kind of subtitles. So that's where that kind of comes from.
It works.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's good.
Hey, yo! I'm sorry. I used to do it in my vlogs. It's the entrance for my theme song. Hey, yo, I'm sorry. I got 2 shirts up on WWE Shop Fanatics right now. I hate Logan Paul. Yes, I am the one behind it. You gotta monetize the haters and still humble because after all, I am your humble king. And I'm gonna stay humble because I'm just that humble. You can grab my shirts and all WWE merch, hats, Tees, replica title belt, superstar collections on WWE Shop and Fanatics. Get yours today. Back to the show.
Another thing I noticed too about this movie is I think it's gonna, not to use this term because it's so like PC and just woke, but like I think it's gonna trigger some people, dude.
Oh yeah,
Because of the undertones.
Yeah.
You've got undertones for me, an ex-dope head. You've got a lot of addiction undertones
sure.
with his use. You've got some domestic disputes at the very least, undertones and disagreements between boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
How much of that did you want to come through? It feels like such a human condition piece versus the other films that you've made.
Yes, and that was very important. Is like I wrote in the script like radical empathy. That was something that I thought, I'm like, you know what? Let's make empathy cool, like radical empathy. You know, because like specifically with addicts, you know, there's a level of judgment that gets placed on somebody, and sometimes it's not your fault. You know, it's like you're dealing with something and you're trying to hide it and you treat it in another way. Like, let's look at this differently. You know, now you have an example of a guy who's the strongest man in the world.
Yes.
And he's doing it. And so you immediately look at somebody who's invincible and say, oh, they can handle anything. But they're dealing with everything just like anybody else. So it's like, I want to show what it feels like. And if you can relate with him and empathize with him, then maybe outside every day you can go out and just be like, oh, I'm going to just check myself a little bit when I see somebody at the supermarket and just be like, maybe I don't know what they've been through in their life. You never know. So in that sense, it's just like I wanted it to really be a realistic in a way. And that's like, it's realistic, but it's like, it's hyper realistic in a way where you're feeling these feelings that aren't yours. I wanted there's like these memories to enter your head. So when you see him using, you feel the weight of him looking for it, the relief that he gets from it. And it's intense, you know, and you understand it. And then I also thought it was important to show somebody else have the same feeling and oh, this is what you were doing. How the fuck do you fight on this shit? Like that kind of thing. You just get used to it, you know, stuff like that. And then even in the argument, that's like, there's a specific argument that's like 8.5 minutes long between him and his girlfriend. And Emily Blunt is amazing.
One of my
unbelievable,
incredible actress.
Yeah, and so we built this house. James, the production designer, we built a house. That whole house was a set. So we built that, and we were trying to figure out how we could do it in a way that I would be able to hide the two cameras, because I shot at two cameras basically the whole time to get at something. And so now if you're in the kitchen, you can hide the cameras just off of one another and get that so that the actors don't even see it and they can just be in it. But like, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to be truthful about the times that I've been, you know, I say something that I'm embarrassed about. You know, I brought Dwayne and Emily in a room, like, look, let's just talk about the times we've gotten into an argument with our significant other and just felt embarrassed and bad about it at the end of the day. And just sit on that. And we just talked about it so that like when we got to the moment, we could say things like when he says things that aren't nice. She says things that aren't nice. And you're trying to hurt somebody when you're in an argument like that. But I wanted to show that so that you could like feel it. And then next time, maybe you won't be that way, you know, or maybe you'll think about it afterwards and just say, sorry, full stop, you know, kind of thing.
But a lot of it was, and all of that came through.
Okay,
by the way, it just like any other Safdie film, it was anxiety riddled.
Yeah.
That's like the main thing I feel when I watch them, but it's an anxiety that you actually want. And ironic.
This has like a pressure.
Yes.
It's a different kind.
That's the term.
It's a different kind. And I was like, okay, there's a weight on his shoulders. And that's one of the things is like, I know that Dwayne knows what that's like, you know, the pressure to win, the pressure to succeed. That can relate to anything, you know, in the world, just whatever you do. But that pressure to just, it can become oppressive. And I wanted that feeling to be through the whole movie, you know?
How, switching up a little bit, I guess.
What were you going to say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just going to say, ironically, a lot of those scenes come out like in a weird familiarity to people that is almost comical.
Okay.
Like, so there was a lot of like laughter in these tense moments.
Yes.
Where there would be a fight between him and Emily Blunt's character, and she would leave the room and you'd be like, she's coming back.
Yes.
And she would come back
Yes.
and because everyone in that room has had that argument.
Yes.
In a moment where you are giving them an out.
Yes.
That you want so badly for them to take the out to end the argument so that you guys can just settle down and go back to being lovers.
Yes.
And against all of your deepest wishes, they come back for more.
Oh, yes.
And
100%.
And seeing that happen on screen, it's just like, dude, you look at everyone around you and you're like, I fucking knew it.
Yes. And it's funny because that's in there. You know,
Yes.
that's in the script. We talked about that. That's in the choreography. That was like a fight choreography. It's like, okay, you made it through the first round.
Yeah.
She goes to the corner. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
She's like, what do I say? I know. And you see him sitting there being like,
Yeah.
and then yes, it's like, okay, bam. And then it's like each person is doing that. And I'm so glad because it's true. It's like, and I didn't want it to just be heavy all the time. I wanted to have those moments of real life, you know? And that's awesome to hear. So
I think all of the stuff that you went for, it's like I picked up on all of it, which I'm sure it makes you happy. Like even like there was a scene, I don't want to give too much away, but there was a scene where after one of the fights, I won't give away too much, where he was dealing with some kneeing.
yes.
There was a scene in the Destruction Derby where the car kept repeatedly getting rammed, and he was having this like really nice moment with Emily Blunt's character, and all of a sudden his expression changed.
Yeah.
Was that an expression of PTSD in that moment?
100%.
Amazing.
You know, because I remember I went to a derby. It was because it's so funny when you're like thinking about a movie, you get onto this frequency and you just start looking at the world through that lens. And so I went to a demolition derby with my family, and it was just like we were having a good time. And then I just realized, oh wait, there's a connection here. You know, getting pounded, and then just again and again and again. That's what you're just going back and you're doing it. And like, oh, if like you could have a moment of realization almost of like, wait a second, what does this mean right now? What am I doing? You know, you're reflecting on a lot of stuff. So, but it's interesting when that happens, you know, and that was just like a total accident. You know, I just wanted to go to the derby.
Yeah.
And then you see this thing and you're like, oh wait, maybe this could be talk about something, you know?
Demolition derbies are sick.
They are.
They're fucking
Tractor
awesome.
pulls are insane too.
Talk to me about that.
Those are like,
What is it? What is this?
I didn't know what it was, but all of a sudden I just saw this massive plume of black smoke.
yeah.
And they just like, they build the tractors out to be as powerful as possible to see how far they can pull these things. And it's just like,
Wait, what are they pulling?
they're like pulling
Like trailers of some kind, like
just like
loaded
how
trailers.
fast they can move this stuff.
Yeah.
And there's so many different events, you know?
I did a demolition derby.
Did you?
I was in the car.
No way.
It was awesome.
Oh my
It was
God.
awesome.
That is
It's
awesome.
like adult bumper car.
Yes, exactly.
It was sick.
And it's so amazing when you see the inside of the car and they're just like couch cushions.
Yeah.
And like you're
Oh,
just,
it's a dump because they don't have money to like build out like
they're built.
actual-
It was cool because like what's a funny thing about that is that's an actual demolition derby that we filmed.
Sick.
tight.
And then because it was like I'm all about mixing stuff up, so we went and filmed a real derby.
Where was it?
It was in California.
Where? Do you know?
Forget where. It was just a little bit hour outside of
It's
LA.
got to be the same place I did
place.
it.
It probably was.
What's the name? It has like a funny name. Parrot? No. It's got to be the same place.
It has to. So
I recognize some of the
Okay.
people in the stand.
Yes. So I took that as like the base, and then I'm like, but I know that I need to increase the shots, like get closer and closer and closer. So then we kind of rebuilt the derby to get the more kind of evocative shots of like the car, the crunch, that.
Yep.
And so we rebuilt that section. Then I cut it all together, and we shot the stands, and it's just funny because it's just like another thing, just a random. But like when he comes out in UFC, that's the actual UFC broadcast over the image that we're doing. So you're actually hearing Bruce Buffer from back in the day talking about Mark Kerr, but you're seeing the
Whoa,
image
cool.
that we shot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Please welcome in his octagon debut, Mark Kerr.
Because I noticed that the sound in the very beginning was actual.
Yes.
It sounded like it was actual.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I want to ask you about your A-list like portfolio.
Okay.
Because this is actually crazy. Like you look at like the last few movies, when you had Pattinson, right?
Yeah.
You probably were like, we're peaking, dude. We're fucking peaking, right? And by the way, not only had him, but acted alongside.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Bro, that movie, if you haven't seen Good Time, you guys have to go watch that movie. That movie is like
That was
phenomenal.
intense, yeah.
And people went straight to Uncut, and I'm hoping a lot of them went back and watched that. Then you go to Uncut Gems, and you get Sandler, me, right? You get Sandler, you get Garnett, you get a slew of incredible actors. You're like, dude, okay, we're clearly peaking.
Yeah.
Then you get The Rock, Emily Blunt, the star of one of my favorite movies ever, Sicario, and a bunch of others, incredible actress, numerous other people. What is it like working with actors on that level? Do you get nervous at all?
Well, it's interesting because you get to know them before, you know, and it's like, and you want to work with them for a specific reason, you know, and when you meet them, like either that perception of who they are is what you expected or not, and when it matches up, it's the greatest thing in the world, you know, because like when I first met DJ, it was like, oh my God, this is like
It's The Rock.
yeah, and it's just there was something behind his eyes that I just connected with, and it was real. And same thing with Sandler. He's just like a great guy. And that just, when that happens, you're like, okay, we can do this, you know? And you know you're going to get close on this process. And that's part of it, is you want to kind of develop that relationship in a way. And so it's definitely strange, because it's like I approach every movie like it's like the last one I'm gonna make, because it's like, all right, hopefully I get another shot. It's like, so you got to put everything you got into this one, because you never know. And so that just comes from like doing that for so long. You know, you can't. It's hard to shake it. It's like, okay, luckily, like, okay, maybe now I got the next one. Like that one's set. It's like, but after that, I don't know. It's like,
That's addict mentality.
Yeah, 100%.
It's this idea that the shoe's always going to drop.
Exactly.
You know, the next
100%. It's like everybody was talking like, oh, this, and it's like I've dealt with, like, there's people in my family who've had addiction, and like I've seen it very close and had to deal with that, and it's hard, you know. And because of that, I'm like, okay, that's the last thing I want for anybody, and myself included. And so, but at the same time, I do have this idea that I can understand, which is exactly what you said, is like everything can all fall out right now. So you have to kind of go like that.
Which can be good and bad.
Exactly.
It's this all or nothing mentality, cataclysmic mentality that can act in your favor. For
like, yeah, somebody said, like, are you a gambler? And I'm like, no, I'm not a gambler. But then again, I'm like, I'm putting it all on this number.
You're a gambler.
Oh, you're a gambler.
As a filmmaker, especially. Yeah, in many ways. I want to just hit on the A-list thing, specifically with The Rock.
Yeah.
Right. You mentioned meeting Dwayne.
Yeah.
Having that experience of like, wow, like this is a real person.
Yeah.
He cares. He listens to me.
Yes.
He has thoughtful comments back to what I'm saying. I had the same experience with him.
Yeah.
I just think he's a magnificent human being.
Yeah.
And I imagine the director-actor relationship becomes that much more impactful.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's like you can just like look at each other.
Yep.
And you know exactly what each other's thinking.
Yep. Well, it's trust.
Yeah. 100%
He's trusting
trust.
you. You're trusting him.
Exactly.
It sounded at the beginning of this podcast. You said this film actually started with him, like it was his idea, and he came to you.
Yeah.
With it?
He wanted to explore this.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, if he wants to explore this, that says so much about him, you know, that like it's a totally different story, you know, than you normally see.
Very much so.
And I was like, that is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. And and then the more I learned about Mark and the world, I was just like, oh, this is it. And I just never stopped. I have like a screen grab of Mark from like 2020 on my phone, you know?
Yeah.
I bought Dwayne, I found a XXL of the Nautica sweater.
Dude,
Yes.
we had a whole
Talked
fucking
about it.
By the way,
conversation about that.
those
sweater.
I think might be coming back.
Dude,
bro,
he
that
turns
was
to me,
the
he goes, that is the hardest fit I've ever. He
Yes.
goes, if someone wore that fit today,
Oh my God.
the yellow Nautica.
Yes, exactly.
Bro, can we get some of these?
Oh,
like
100%.
We need these
We can make
sweatshirts.
that happen.
So
I actually just got a picture of like the reissue. I have one in my own I took one.
It's a fleece. Right?
Oh, it's a fleece.
Dude,
Exactly.
It is
a
so
crew neck fleece.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Oh my
sick.
God.
It's so
See,
funny
we
you
really
mentioned
watched
that.
the movie.
Yes,
we really
I love
watched
it.
the
It's in
movies,
that-
bro.
We had a sidebar about it. He's
It's amazing.
That's the hardest fit I've
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like I was obsessed with that.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was the image in my head.
so funny.
So I found the sweater. I sent it to him. I wrote a letter to him, and my handwriting is like a 2-year-old, and it looks like I'm a psycho. So I wrote him this like beautiful letter, and then I'm sure somebody on his looked at it and like, this looks like a psycho. Let's just not put that out there. And then it never got to him. And then it was through Oppenheimer. I met Emily.
Yep.
And we acted together. I'm like, what? And I'm like,
He was in Oppenheimer.
I want to talk
Okay.
about that as
But
well.
can we stay on The Rock for a quick
yeah,
second
yeah.
and then switch?
So basically, so now it was just like, again, to go back to that trust, it's like, it was the kind of thing where I'm like, all right, we both just need to trust each other implicitly. That's the only way this is going to work. And I know, and it's so amazing you have that, that the Elvis at his end of his career concert, literally they come in, because there's,
I love that just happened.
Yeah.
I love that just happened because it gives me a little bit more color as to who you are as a person. Like you're mid-statement talking about working with The Rock,
Yeah.
and you just see an Elvis record on the wall, and you're like, the Elvis record.
yeah.
He's one of us.
Yeah. so basically, like, you have to trust each other. And I just knew, like, okay, I can ask him to do anything.
Yeah.
And he's going to be able to achieve it. And if he's going to work his hardest to get there. Like, for example, we're on his back for a good, very emotional moment in the movie. You're not going to shoot the front of me? I said, no. I'm just shooting the back.
Post fight.
Post-fight.
That's some
And you're
Safdie
following
shit.
him.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to shoot the front. He
yeah.
goes, okay. And then I'm like seeing him act with the back muscles.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Guy can act with his back.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready to hold WWE history in the palm of your hand?
Tops is bringing you closer to the action than ever before with WWE Tops Now. Highlighting the biggest matches and milestones from WWE shows and PLEs throughout the year, Tops Now is enhancing the fan experience by connecting collectors to the superstars and spectacles that ignite their passion. Featuring stunning event-exclusive photography, each card is made for the moment. And for some lucky collectors, that moment could become the pool of a lifetime. Along with serial numbered parallels, some Tops Now releases offer a chance at rare short prints, superstar autographs, and even pieces of the mat, gear, or other items used during the featured match. So which moments will you collect? With each card only available for a limited time, you won't want to wait to begin your Tops Now journey. Be sure to subscribe to the WWE Tops Now mailing list on Tops.com and follow Tops on all social media platforms so you never miss a single moment. Back to the show.
When he brought you this, or sorry, when he was the catalyst or the inception, right? Was there ever a moment where you're thinking through Kerr's condition, the addiction, the all of the perspective and empathy, and you thought to yourself, does The Rock have the chops to pull this off?
Never. I knew he could do it.
How did you know that?
I just knew it. I don't know how. I can't explain it. I saw it inside of him. The fact that he wanted to do this and wanted to work as hard as possible. He put in the time. He gained 40 pounds to like,
He was
massive. I said to him, I need you to get bigger, puffier. And he goes, okay.
I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
The Rock's physique in this movie is insane.
Insane.
It's absolutely
his shoulders, and he knew he needed the wrestler tight waist. His thighs.
massive.
Oh my God.
How do you have that conversation with someone?
That's where I'm like, I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna do it.
like, bro, I need you to get huge.
Yes. I was just like, okay, it was the kind of thing where that's one where you're a little nervous. You don't know, like, because he's already big. And it's like, I need you to get bigger. And he's like, okay. And he knew exactly what I was talking about because Kerr's body was so special. You know, there's a wrestler physique, there's a specific muscles that you have to work to get that. And so he had to transform.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, I just knew he could do it.
Yeah, his acting is great. It's the first time where I felt like he was acting, to be honest.
He's just so internal, and he's so like,
Well, in this movie specifically,
yeah,
I think
so
that's
emotional, and so you just love him. You want to like reach out and give him a hug, and he's so sad. But then at the times he's really frustrating. It's like, and that was important. I wanted to show that like it's not easy to live with sometimes.
the first time we saw pictures of Dwayne as this character,
Yeah.
they went viral online because he was basically unrecognizable.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The prosthetics
Oh my
for
God.
Dwayne Johnson in this movie are insane.
They're on Kazu, the legend, you know.
Is that like how did you do it? And more importantly, the thing everyone's really wondering is how did you give The Rock hair?
Okay, so let's touch on the prosthetics.
Okay.
The prosthetics was I don't have my phone on me, but there's a picture that I took. So we're working with Kazu. There was like levels of transformation. One being just like very little, then like there was a gradient to like full on. I can make, because he can do this. He's like, I can make him an exact replica of Mark Kerr. And I thought, okay, well, I don't want that, and I don't want this. I need something. I need Dwayne to come through because he's expressing himself. You know, he's going back to parts of his life. He's going deep in his own personal life to pull from these things. And I want people to see him too. So I wanted you to be able to still see him, but have him have kind of a little bit of just like a kind of hand wave, you know, just like, you're not necessarily, it gave him, like he can be there and be a different person, you know, and express himself there. And for him, it was very important to disappear because he's sitting in the chair for 3 hours every day and he's looking at himself, and that does something to you, you know? And so Kazu, we came up with like, we're talking about like the way the eyebrows fall, how much hair in the eyebrows, where they go, the nose. And then it was just an eyebrow and the nose and then the ear, the cauliflower ear.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
And then, but I also was like, okay, but after a fight, parts of your face get swollen. So that we had prosthetics for parts of the cheek.
Yep.
So then the ear gets bigger, the nose gets bigger. And then there were levels of like right after the fight, 12 hours later. So we had levels of so many different kinds of prosthetics.
Yeah.
And then there's also the prosthetics where he hasn't been fighting for like a good amount of time and he looks way fresher and this. So that we were thinking about all of those, the arc of like what happens to a face, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was reading this book. This is total sidetrack about a boxer. And it was about how he was on the subway and he had these black eyes. And he was really proud of his eyes, you know? And he saw people looking at him. And that's where that came from in the scene.
The doctor's
You're looking at my eyes.
We were
aren't you?
laughing.
It's
We were
like,
laughing.
that's it. He was-
I love when that
Yeah.
happens.
It's-
I like getting
yeah.
kind of roughed up.
Exactly. There's something there because I don't know what it, and then maybe that's part of like the addiction of that is like something about that makes you feel something, you know? But so there was this element of, okay, like the transition of those things. And then on The Curse, when I had this like long hair, I was like, okay, there needs to be a pool scene. Because if I'm in the water, that's like the last thing you should do when you have a wig is you go in the water because it can highlight everything that's wrong with it. But I'm like, that will prove to people to just forget about it and not think about it. And so in this case, we had different looks, you know, different styles. Styled hair, gelled, to cover up some of the thinning, you know, because you're always looking, trying to figure out how to make it look a certain way. And then there's when you first wake up, and then there's also like just after a shower, you know, so we had different levels of wigs. And Mia was like, she did the hair and she was always like sculpting it in this way, you know, and trying to figure out exactly where it was. And we would always talk about what happened before this. Okay, when he's just getting up in bed or he's just getting out of the hospital. When he's in the hospital, it's a little bit longer, you know. And then on top of that, it was like, I got to show a head shave because that will just wipe anything out, you know. And Kazu's like, I can do that. And so then I had to get a real barber because you got to be very handy with the clippers to shave it.
Yeah.
You know? And so, and again, it was just like, it's a part of, it's a 100% thing. Everything has to be connected in that way to kind of make it pull off. But
And it did. I mean, I think that meticulous like attention to detail obviously shown through, and I can't imagine that there's a better Rock acting role. I mean, he really, really popped through as an actor in this.
It really, for me, it was just like, wow, I feel like, oh, I could ask him to do anything.
It was either
And he
this
can do that.
or Moana for me.
Yeah.
For his best.
Well, no, the thing is there's an element of magnetism that he has.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That like that's why those are so successful.
Yeah.
And it comes through because like you just want to you want to be in that gaze, you know, because you feel it.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, it's real. And so now it's just taking that and using it in another way, you know?
Yep.
And there's flaws.
Dude, you the way you perceive life has to be pretty interesting, because as a director, like we even sat down here and you made like a directee like comment. Like I feel like you're always living life through that lens.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting because you're also an actor.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah.
Like even like I actually wasn't even really sure like who you were, because I've seen you be so many different people.
That's
and they there's not a lot of big through line. I feel
It's
like, dude, when I watched Good Time and I saw your character, I have to say, I literally Googled. I was like, who the fuck is that? That was actually the first time I saw you.
Sick.
Oh man.
I was like, I wasn't sure if like that was actually you.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, he's like also directing the movie and wrote these movies, and it's like, it's wildly impressive. I have a selfish question.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just so curious, like, how did you get away with playing someone who's like mentally impaired?
Yeah.
And
Well-
and how are you not afraid of like what the reaction to that would be?
Well, I'm not thinking about that reaction, you know, because like we looked for somebody, you know, who could play that part, and we interviewed a ton of people.
And he said, "Fuck it, I'll do it myself."
Yeah.
That's insane. For that character, that's insane.
And so it's like, it was like, but there was an element of like, oh, the things that this character needs to do to get somebody to do that.
Yep.
You would have to be doing a lot of stuff it would just be like, it would not be nice to the person, you know? So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it. And it was like, and I had been working on it. It's funny. I'd been working on that character with the guy who wrote the movie with us there, and Ronnie. And it was just, that character came from myself. There was a time in my life where I was like internal, and I was just like, I wanted nothing to do with anybody else. And I was just like, I'm going inside. Air conditioning is 6 to 50, you know, like drawers closed. And I'm like, nothing. Damn. So like, there's an element of me that is in that character. And I just felt, you know what? That's why I can feel comfortable doing this, is because I know what that feels like, at least. And I'm trying to at least be truthful to the emotions of it, you know? Just to quickly, like, to explain it, you know, there's the moment at the end when I cross the room, you know, and that she was somebody who works she runs a class, and it's a therapeutic environment. That was her assignment for the class. And we told her about the movie, and she was just going to ask questions. And then it was on me to listen or not, you know, and my direction was, I'm not going to cross the room. She doesn't need to know anything about me. She's a stranger. I don't care. First thing that happens, I walk in the room. She goes, "Oh, can I take your coat?" And I'm like, I'm not giving up. I wasn't going to give him my coat. That was my thing. It made me feel comfortable. And she took the coat away, and I was just like, oh. And now I'm in the room, and now I'm exposed. And she starts asking questions. Do you like candy? Cross the room. I'm like, she doesn't need to know if I like candy. Not going to cross the room. Not going to cross the room. Not going to cross the room. And then she asked the question, have you ever been blamed for something that you didn't do? And I just crossed the room. Yeah. And I was just like, I can't believe that I just did that. I went against what I wanted to do myself. And it was just like, I was just trying to be truthful to what I thought that was like. And in that sense, I was like, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, you know? But like,
that's gambling.
Yeah,
Like
I
we
guess
talked
so.
about earlier, that's gambling.
Okay, yeah.
That was gambling.
Yeah.
I just am so curious how you can go from being a director, someone who like has to have a level of control, to being someone else in kind of just being and letting go of that control. The duality is fascinating.
Well, it's interesting because it helps me. Like doing that helps me be better at directing, because now I'm in somebody else's ship, you know, and I'm seeing how they work. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, that made me feel a certain way. I like that. You know, that kind of little jab or whatever made me better. So if I can do that, then maybe I can do that. You know, I can do it on something else I'm working on.
Are you method?
No,
You're not.
I'm not. Well, I'm not method in the sense that like, as soon as it's over, I'm back to like, I'm talking like this. You know, I'm like, there's no, I can go in and out, you know, but there's an element of like, for example, like Happy Gilmore 2, you know, I was like,
Bro.
I didn't have to have that like facial hair. It could have been put on me every day. And I didn't have to dye my hair. You know, they could have done that every day. But I thought, you know, I need to walk around the world with this look to get comfortable with it. Just to be like, I don't want to have to think about it. That's it. I just don't want to have to think about what I look like, because then that just will make the performance a little better. So in that sense, it's method, but I'm not like being the guy all the time. It's like, it's just, you do it. You go in like, okay, now we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think like specifically, it was like when I had to do the accent in Oppenheimer, it's like, oh my God, like this is like, he asked me, how's the accent working? I'm like, oh my God, I actually got to do this.
What was harder, that one or being what was it, autistic?
It was just like there was a developmental thing. It was intellectual, developmental. And it was maybe there was a level of like there was anxiety. There was a whole bunch of stuff in that character, you know. But they're different, you know. You approach each one very differently, and I'm approaching them the same. You know, I'm like, okay, this is just a different challenge. You know, what am I going to do here? And that one was just hard because I was like, okay, I'm gonna sound like I don't want to. It's like I'm gonna sound like this guy's an intense accent, you know. And I was just like, I'm gonna open up my mouth, and everybody's gonna be like, "This is the stupidest fucking thing."
I don't understand how you end up in that position.
And so,
like, seriously, how are you?
but
I've
I've done stand-up comedy. That's one thing that actually did help me a lot.
Okay.
And I did stand-up comedy in high school as a character, and the whole point of the character was he's gonna be the worst comedian in the world. But he doesn't know that. He thinks he's doing the thing that everybody else is doing. He's just unaware. He thinks, oh, I know how to tell a joke. Talk about my life. Hey, went to the supermarket the other day. What'd I buy?
And that's why it's funny?
And that's why it's funny.
Like Dax Flame.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know who Dax Flame
Yes,
is?
I do.
Yeah.
But I don't know if like, I don't know.
Us either. And we
Exactly.
had him on this show.
and we
Yes.
still don't know.
I could not tell if
exactly.
he's in character or if he's not. But either way, it's fucking hilarious.
Yes. And so there's like, that's like what Andy Kaufman is doing and all this stuff. And so I would go out into these like open mic nights and I would do this thing and I would be, it was like a black hole, you know, it was like a black hole. You go out there and you're just like, I'm submitting myself to the most, it's base.
You got
reaction.
balls, kid. You got balls.
You do got balls. You have balls.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Oh, balls.
Yeah.
And so I remember just going out there and then it's just like black and you're telling these jokes and at some point it's like a black hole and people can't heckle you because I'm trying to be unflappable, but I'd go there as the character so they wouldn't see me switch. So that's where I would be method is when I'm in there waiting, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want anybody to be laughing at the fact that I was doing that. I wanted them to think I was a real person. That was all I wanted. And so that was how I went in there. And I think there was something about that realized like, oh yeah, just go and try it. That's the worst that can happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
That's gambling.
yeah,
Well,
of course.
That feeling also scares people. The
Of
answer
course.
to what's the worst that can happen. Well, by the way, we say that all the time.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Well, it could be pretty bad.
It could be.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But like when they say go talk to that girl, what's the worst that could happen?
Oh my God.
She could say no. She could say no.
It's easy to say.
No.
It gets worse.
Yes. It's easy to say, but like sometimes like when you like that, I was talking to Mark about this, you know, because like when the movie was premiering in Venice, I'm nervous. You know, you get butterflies in your stomach. And he's like, that's like fight night. When you go out there, you get nervous.
Yeah.
And he's like, that feeling is addictive. Trying to chase that feeling of that. He goes, it's dangerous to be addicted to that kind of thing. But like, I guess part of me maybe has that, like, I like going into those environments and like, okay, there's no net, you know?
Do you want to know why? And the best thing about it, because I've dealt with severe anxiety my whole life.
Same here.
My whole life.
Yeah.
And at certain points in my life, it was, especially coming off of drugs and everything that's happened since then, there were times where if I wanted to go to the gym, it was, hey, what time can you meet me in front of the gym so that we can go into the gym
Yes.
together? And if I wanted to go to a restaurant, it was, what time are you going to be there exactly?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be around people until
Yeah.
one of my, you know, like security blanket friends is
You
there.
don't want to
right?
sit there waiting, everybody looking at you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Until I realized that the solo missions that presented what I considered to be the cause of the anxiety were actually the cure to the anxiety.
Yeah.
Because the resistance is what you need to go head first into to actually cure.
Yeah. And it's exactly that. You know, I had a psychiatrist who said to me, because it's like, I was like, well, what are we going to do? What is this? Like, how does this work? And he's like, well, what we do is we're going to take, he mentioned like, it's like cancer therapy. You take in cancer, you take all the blood outside of the body and you treat it, and then it goes back inside. And then you hope that it fixes it. Because what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about it, and we're going to put out everything onto the table, and we're going to look at it, and we're going to observe it, and then we're going to put it back in your head. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, that's what you could do with a movie. You know, and if you could do that with a movie, awesome.
That's what you do.
Oh.
That's what you do.
Yeah,
You do a great job of it.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
I'm still just so curious how you end up in these vastly different roles, dude. You haven't answered like how are you in a position where you're like, damn, I got to learn an accent?
Okay, so
like, bro, you're being Edward Teller.
Yes.
Father of the hydrogen
Yes.
bomb.
And so that to me is like, so it's when Chris like asked me to like have a meeting and he tells me about this, I'm
Christopher
like,
Nolan?
yes.
Chris.
Chris, you know,
Chris.
it's just me, Chris,
Nolan.
But he's so,
DJ. You know, I'm just hanging out with all my boys.
so we're talking about it, and I'm like, I said, you don't, and he didn't know this. I said, but I am obsessed with physics. In high school, I almost was a physicist. Yes.
No way.
I was almost a physicist. 50-50 coin tossed between being a filmmaker and a physics teacher. That's where I was going to go.
Bro.
Okay, so I'm learning all this stuff, standard model. I'm doing all this stuff with this teacher at Columbia, but cosmic rays and all this stuff, and I learn it. And in the process of learning it, I loved the theories and the ideas behind it. But I realized, I like telling other people the theories. I like getting them to understand it also. So that's kind of like the transition between the two. But I was obsessed, and I still am. I love physics. And I said, so you have no idea what this means to me, that now I get to basically cosplay as like this one thing that I wanted to be, you know, a physicist.
Yeah.
So it really was like, these two things coming together in an interesting way. And maybe that's it. It's just like, I'm open to something, you know?
You're curious.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a very important attribute to people that work in the space.
And it's like you learn things, you know, about just like, okay, well, specifically you should just do that thing that makes you excited. What is that, you know? And there's something about just being like, okay, I'm going to try that now. And then when somebody asks me to play like a father in like, Are You There, God? I'm like, that's me. I am a father. You know, like, it's like nobody sees me that way. And I was like, I can't believe you saw me that way. I'm going to try this. And I have 2 boys. I've never been the father of a daughter. And I'm like, I'm going to explore what that might be like. What are moments where, because like I know I desperately want to understand my kids and I want to help them. And what if I was in a position where I actually couldn't understand what they were going through, you know, physically? What would that make me feel like? You know, I'm just thinking about that stuff. And it helps me because it's also like I get to do things that I wouldn't necessarily do in some of my other my work that I'm directing, you know? So it gives me the opportunity to work with new people, learn new things. And that's how I look at it.
Your curiosity and your exploration of self and the ability to kind of just dive in with no net, as you said, is admirable. It's really fascinating. And again, your duality is crazy. Like, physicist or filmmaker is like not like holy smokes, dude.
Yeah,
like that's both sides of the brain.
Yeah,
which I think is the entity that is like a Safdie.
Yeah,
you work a lot with your brother.
Yeah,
the Safdie brothers.
Yes,
guys made a name for yourself.
That's right.
A lot of films, wildly successful.
You have a brother.
I have one brother.
The Pauls.
Yeah. Pauls. Yeah. Yep. But we fight people.
Yeah.
And rile people up.
Yeah.
You guys got beef?
No.
It's all good.
Yeah. All good.
Okay. Because you guys are now on your own, like separate directed.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing where it's like you work towards this thing and then you're like, well, now what? And you just want to explore different things.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like because like my personality is I'm open and I want to learn about all this stuff. it's as you know, it's hard to align all the time on everything.
Yeah. For sure.
that's
I
just
wonder how
like
the Russo
basically it.
brothers do it.
Yeah, so it's like, and there's only
Coen
so much
brothers.
time on Earth.
The Rocket twins.
Yeah.
Well, they're twins. That
Another
might be a little
A24
different.
group
Okay.
talked to me, and
Oh yeah,
we had they're good.
Yeah.
Ours.
So it's just a matter of like, okay, well, I got all this stuff I want to talk about and explore. So like, I'm gonna go do that.
Well, it's,
Okay,
it
wait,
wasn't
wait,
always-
though.
yeah.
So sometimes you're acting
Yes.
in movies that you're both directing.
Yes.
Does he ever give you a note and you're like, fuck that note?
Yeah. Yes. It was one time. Well, there was one time where it was like I remember it was like, so there was this one guy in the prison fight sequence, the guy who I ripped the pocket off.
Yeah.
He's like so down to do his own stunts, all this stuff. And I tackled him, and I was doing my own stunts there. So I tackled him, and he's like, I never want that to happen again. And I'm like, great, fine. You want to try now? They bring in the stunt double. And this guy is like 280. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, all right. So I know that the camera's going to be in a certain place where you're not going to be able to tell. But I take this guy down, and I had my elbow underneath him and not to the side. And there's no mat on the ground. And I just, right. And I'm just like, oh man. And my hand just starts twitching. And I can't feel it. I can't do it. And I have to now continue the scene and punch the guy. And I'm punching him, and he came up to me. He's like, the punches look fake. You got to do this. I'm like, I can't feel my fucking hand right now. And I'm like, so enough with that. So it's like, literally, you don't know what's going on right now. So that was one of those moments. But it's like, it is a lot of the times it's like there is just when you're acting in it, you're kind of like, okay, sometimes it's helpful like to have somebody else, there, like I remember like when we were doing The Curse with Nathan, when we're acting in it, like that, we were helping each other out there, and you can have that outside perspective. And that was just also fun because there was one moment where we were acting in the scene together, and we were making the show together. So it was this really weird meta moment where it was all
That
right,
is super weird.
it was very weird.
The ability to both act and direct
Yes.
is the thing. Ben Stiller does this
Yeah.
a lot. I always wonder how, because at least you guys, when you're directing
Yeah.
or acting together, one of you is doing the other, you can rely on the other.
Yes.
But when you're both in the scene or you're doing it in your own movie,
Yeah, that's when it's like, oh, this is. But I remember there was one moment when it was in The Curse, and I was sitting there, and I had to cry. I'm talking to the little girl, and I'm trying to get her to curse me, and I wanted to let her know, like, okay, when I get to this moment, that's when you can scream, like. And so I remember I'm like getting to the place where the tears will come, and I'm talking to her. And she's about to scream, and I just like in the take as we're rolling, I'm just like,
no way.
I just shook my head, not yet.
Directed her in
Just like, not yet.
Yeah,
and then she stopped, and then it was just like, but so you do have to be able to like be in two places at once.
Yeah.
And I think it's not multitasking but like you're just trying to do a lot at the same time.
Yeah.
And so there's a part of me is like when I'm acting, it's like, it's great because like I don't have to worry about stuff that I normally would have to worry about. But then at the same time, I can approach it and be like, I can maybe do the director a favor and just you're never going to have to think. You don't even worry about me. Don't even ask me. I'll do it. It's like that. So approaching it from that, just because like that's what I would want. So I can approach it from that way.
Yep.
And so that's where it's like, but then at the same time, like you have to like, how much do you want me to do? What do you want me to add? Like all that stuff.
Yep.
It's just a conversation.
Do you like acting or directing more?
They're connected. I don't like either. I love them both. And I think that each one makes me better at what I'm trying to do in that moment. So
That's a very diplomatic response.
but it's true,
But you don't have a preference?
No, because it's like it's the kind of thing where like I was editing Smashing Machine and then I was in Happy Gilmore.
edited it too.
I edited it, yeah. So it's like, and it's like I'm sitting with my laptop in the trailer on Happy Gilmore 2, editing.
That's insane.
And
Got iMovie pulled up.
yeah, so it's like, and it's like, but there's an element of just like it was helpful in that moment to do something else.
Bro, you're Happy Gilmore character editing the movie that you directed while filming the other it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people have this capacity, dude.
I don't, it's like I can't, I'm out, I can't like conceptualize it.
Okay.
You know what? I can't see it.
No, it's not normal.
Because when it's happening,
Maybe you are the character from Good Times.
it's possible, yeah. So it's like I look at it and it doesn't. It's like at times I'm like, oh, I don't know how that happened. It just happened, you know.
Well, it's because you love it.
Yeah,
And
maybe
trying to explain, it's like some stuff is just not easy to explain.
Yeah.
It's like it's like, that's why I was really happy, not to go back to another topic, but I will. When you were talking earlier about being able to really like showcase addiction in this current movie, like the way it came through and his like slow spiral and him trying to justify and make it seem okay that he was on the floor for a while and make it not a big deal.
He's like,
dude,
I was on the floor and I couldn't wake up.
I couldn't get up, but he was laughing about it. And then, dude, you really nailed some of those things so much. Like, there's a lot of times where it's jokes, and then someone puts their hand on your shoulder and it's waterfalls.
Exactly.
And those moments, dude, like I'm getting goosebumps really, like even talking about it. It's that juxtaposition that you did between a very strong man and the showcasing that addiction is even stronger was really important. Like you should understand it was a really impactful thing.
I appreciate that. And then another thing I wanted to show is that like when somebody gets better, like the people around you, that's a difficult thing to work with.
Insane.
And so
Insane,
that's where I'm like, I remember writing the line being like, oh, that's not nice. Like just because you got your shit together for 21 days doesn't make you better than me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like that, but I felt that before. And I was like, I'm going to just, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just putting that in.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing that people feel. And maybe it's not the right thing to say, but if you see somebody else say it, then you might be like, oh, okay. You know, I've had that feeling before, and maybe I don't feel as bad about it, you know?
I was watching it also just kind of mad because I'm shopping my book right now for Motion.
Yeah.
And the Safdie brothers are on the list. And now you did an addiction piece, and it's just not gonna, I'm pissed.
Bro, wait, do his movie.
Nah, he already did an
Why?
addiction.
No,
dude.
no, this is different.
Wait, we're not going to make the deal right here.
No,
please.
You gotta talk to CA.
That is interesting. How are you choosing projects? Like he does have a fucking insane story, best-selling book.
It's what I'm excited about, what I want to do.
Miles Teller is attached to play him.
Oh, really?
No, he's not.
Well, he is now.
Breaking news.
He is now. You're involved now too, baby. Come on.
I did ask him about it.
Okay.
No, this is great. Miles Teller, Benny Safdie.
You're doing it all right now.
I'll make a cameo.
Okay.
Dwayne said he was down as well.
Wait, how about this? Can you read 3 pages of the book if I send it to you?
Oh, for sure.
Give me 3 pages.
I want to just read it to hear what it sounds like.
It's a really good book.
This guy should have been dead.
Yeah.
10
That's
times
crazy.
and back again.
Good for you.
And survived the opiate addiction.
Good for you.
The whole
'Cause
epidemic.
that's not easy.
No,
You know?
especially
That is not easy. And it's like all the power to you because
Thank you,
that's a beautiful thing. You know, true recovery is one of the greatest.
Well, you know, I wouldn't say that I'm recovering in all aspects.
Yeah.
But I've gotten better.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
No,
for
but that's
sure.
okay. You know, it's like you got rid of the thing that was destroying
Yes,
you.
correct.
You know?
Correct.
was Julia Fox really the muse for Uncut JAAAAAMMSSS?
I have no idea.
Dude, what a meme. How do
I
you
know.
like when things that you do that are in a very serious vein of art
You can't
become-
control it. It's not up to you.
But do you like it?
It's kind of fun, yeah, because it's like you can't control it, and it's like, hey, it's connecting. You know, it's like I didn't expect the thing with me and the bigger bomb to become a thing, but it did, and it's like, okay, that's funny.
Like, dude, when you were making all these like sick movies, did you ever think to yourself, man, one day I'm gonna be sitting on a couch with Logan Paul talking about these sick, like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not thinking about anything.
Yeah. You don't even.
Yeah, us either. You know what's going on in our brains? You know that little monkey with the symbols?
Exactly.
That's us.
Be here now. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Hey, you want to know one other thing I could ask you too? And this might be even more.
Okay.
Now it's a second favor I've asked you.
Yes.
I will promote the shit out of it. In one of your next movies, can I just get like the smallest extra role? Like zero, dude, like zero.
This is crazy.
It doesn't even have to be lines. Like I can pick up a garbage bag, something. Just like this. I'm an East Coast guy. I got depth, dude.
Let's talk about it.
Please,
let's talk
bro.
about it.
I'll go through. I know you love the union.
The thing that you got to go through the union. But it's funny you mentioned background. On this,
Because you'd be perfect.
but here's the thing. Specifically on this movie, we were obsessed with everybody in the background.
I noticed.
Because if one person is doing something that is out of place, your eye goes to them. Because I'm using these shots that are long and
I saw a Mercedes from the mid 2010s.
Yes.
I had to tell you, dude.
Okay, so
it's in Japan.
I know, because Japan, we could only this is the thing that's weird about Japan. They don't save old stuff. They move on to the new thing. So it was really hard to find cars.
What about AI?
It was. I didn't want to do. I wanted to do it all in camera. So I just put stuff in the foreground, and I figured you wouldn't notice.
Yeah, I have a problem. So,
Okay, but I'm talking about like the people in the deep background, when they're in that UFC locker room, all the people talking. We are looking at everybody, making sure that everybody is doing something, and we're involved. Like, okay, that was too much. Like, why would you do that? You'd just be sitting there flipping through your book. That's fine. You can do that. That's okay. And
I can flip through
and
the
it's
book.
and it's hard. And it's hard.
I know it is, but I think I can pull it off.
He could flip through.
I've starred in a motion
Okay.
picture,
Yeah,
a flat
there you
Earth
go.
documentary.
Great. And that's the thing. Is like it's not just in the background. It's like you're a part of it. I'll look at all the faces. I literally have them send me every single person, and I'll look at all the faces and I'll pick who's in the room because it's all important.
Dude, your attention to detail is magnificent. It's part of the reason the film feels so real.
Oh man,
Because it does. I was waiting for a moment to be like taken out.
Yeah.
You know what else I was watching in this particular film? The people who aren't known for acting act.
Yeah.
Bader especially. Oh. I was waiting to catch him acting.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it. I even thought this might be like me overanalyzing.
Yeah.
But okay. I have found that a lot of fighters currently, but especially back then, are a little awkward in front of the media.
Yeah.
Like they're not huge personalities. It's part of the reason my brother's boxing career is so successful.
Yeah.
Because he
knows how to use it.
He knows how to use it.
Yeah.
He's an entertainer first.
Yeah.
And then became a really good boxer. And I see a lot of boxers they or any fighter freeze up when the camera gets on them because it's scary. You're in front of a lot of people. It's like you're a trained fighter. It's not like you're an entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, I noticed a lot of these interviews when people didn't really see the intersection between entertainment and combat or like necessarily the value of it.
Yes.
They were really awkward.
Yeah.
And I felt like Bader, especially, even Dwayne, they were awkward-ish in front of the media.
Yeah.
But they were better like at acting when they weren't in front of it. Was that like an intentional
For
choice?
sure. I wanted to show what the interviews were like, how they were different in an interview. So I'm so I'm so happy you picked up on that.
I felt it.
Because like the interviews are a different moment of their lives and a different side of who they are. And you see that performance happen.
Yeah.
And like specifically with Bader, I always wanted him to be like, you good? Always before the take, like ask and then like settle into interview mode. Like he needs to know when to turn on.
Yeah.
And like at the end, like, okay, got it, great, move on. Like that kind of thing. So it was a lot of like thinking about that.
So specific.
But it's, and when you're, and also I got to do interviews, you got to talk about things. And one thing that I loved about Mark was he would use the interviews to try and understand himself. Like that was his opportunity to kind of, I guess, be in therapy maybe.
Interesting.
Because he would talk about these really deep concepts about why he fought. There's an interview that he did where he's like, if you ask me why I fought, I don't know. And he was just so open about it.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's incredible. So I wanted to like show when he's showing, he's talking to the guy, he's making this crazy analogy about the laser beam and the flashlight.
Yeah.
And the guy's like,
I didn't get that actually.
Well, it's basically what he's like, if you're a laser beam, you're hyper focused on what you need to achieve.
Okay.
If you're a flashlight, it spreads everywhere.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see. All
And
right.
he's like, and then he's like, otherwise you'll let your emotions, your anxiety take over.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And I liked that the guy's like,
Wow.
that
Yeah.
was not what I was
expecting
expecting,
you
you
to
know?
say.
But that's the thing is like that. This is where I'm like the performance aspect of him, like I love is like getting that genuine
Yeah.
from somebody. You know, that's what I'm like chasing.
Yep.
That's like when that happens, you're like, oh, yeah.
Did you have any of those moments with Boss?
Oh, are you kidding
Boss
me?
is-
Boss are you kidding me?
great.
Is incredible. And by the way, like talk about fight history.
Yes. So when he does the punching and it triggers the moment.
Yep.
The whole time I'm like, how is he going to do this? Because this is a hard thing. How is he going to do it? And I'm like, all right, maybe let's just do a rehearsal. And I don't like to do rehearsals. You know, I will shoot the rehearsal most of the time. I'm like, let's do a rehearsal. He does it, and I hear that noise come out of him, and I'm like, let's stop. Let's go right now.
Whoa, cool.
And he just went, and it was like
It's gonna be an
full
hour
on
and a half.
pain.
Hour and a half.
And it was the way I was just like, oh my God. This
He's
is the most incredible.
awesome.
And then there's something that I love where the guy who puts his hand on his shoulder, sees him falling, catches him. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
I just wanted that. I want anybody to be able to do that, you know?
Yep.
So there's an amazing thing. I sent it to Dwayne. It's Rick Danko from the band. He talks about playing with Dylan and all that stuff. And he says something really beautiful. He's like, I wasn't anticipating what he was going to do. I was anticipating what he was doing. And that was like, what an awesome statement. And he just also talks about like playing with other people. He's like, it's a beautiful thing when that happens, you know, when you're all flowing in that flow state.
Yep.
That's what you're after.
Yep.
You know?
Was it like a boxing fan? I seen
Usyk.
Oleksandr Usyk.
Oh my God.
Throwing like kicks and
Yeah.
doing like takedowns and shit.
Oh my God. He came in like, he threw that roundhouse kick. And I was just like, oh my God.
He could do that as well.
He knows how to do the wrestling.
Whoa.
And it was amazing. There was one moment which was like, I was like, okay, this is one of those where like, okay, how do I do this? He had just won. Now he's the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He shows up on set and he's a boxer. And a boxer's punches are tight to the body, fast. When you're down on the ground and pound, you're wide and you're throwing like that. It's a different style. So he gets down on the ground and he's doing his boxing punches and you can't see it. And so I'm like, oh my God, I got to get in there.
I got to teach this guy how to throw. I got to teach Usyk how to throw a punch on the ground.
And so I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going in and I'm doing it. And I get down and there's this picture of me like wailing and he's looking at me. And this is what's amazing about him is he's watching and he's like, okay. And he wants to learn and he wants to do it. And he goes in there and he does it, you know? And that's just like, he is so humble and he's such an amazing guy.
Yeah.
But like, again, he wanted to learn that. And he's like, okay. And then he did it and he got there because I said to him, like, you're the heavyweight champion of the world. Your punches can't look like that.
Yeah.
You gotta be like,
Yeah.
And there was another moment when Bader, because it's like, I would stack the shots. So you'd throw the punch and then you gotta like throw your head back.
Yep.
Because the other thing is like, when you get punched, you don't go to the side, you go head back. And I wanted that to be a thing, you know, because Greg Remento, the stunt coordinator, who did an incredible job on this, you know, that was one thing we always talked about. So we're doing the fight and Usyk throws a jab. And I'm like, oh, Bader, you didn't react. He goes, I didn't see it. That's how fast it was.
Whoa.
I didn't even see
Whoa.
it. And yeah, it's amazing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, before we're getting the sign from the team, which
Okay.
you've been very gracious with your time. I have this. I'm a movie obsessive.
Yes.
like, obsessive, and I have this
I could tell you got like a insane knowledge.
guy movie list.
Yeah.
I have this guy movie list. Like
Okay.
it is.
Oh, wow.
massive.
You have
Like,
to send me that.
I will.
Okay,
It's
please.
all the like lock, stock.
I love it.
And rock and roll and every guy movie.
Okay.
right? I have to ask you whether you want to do top 3 or top 5
Okay.
guy movies.
Okay.
Ever.
Rocky 3.
Nice.
Rocky 3. There's the
Damn superlatives. You're so hard.
I
But
know. This is like, because
but I
right
know-
now my brain is going through all this list. So Rocky 3 is definitely there.
Interesting 3.
3. You know why? Because he loses.
Yes.
He's at the top of his game and he loses.
Yes.
And he's got to find himself. I'm like, oh, there's an element of like Stallone himself coming across because he was at that place in his career. And it was just like, And I just also love like him and Apollo in the gym. There's just so much in that. And Mr. T is incredible. Yeah. He's just like aggressive. So yeah, like I think so. And then so yeah, Rocky 3. You give me one just to spur.
Okay. For me, a lot of it's. I mean, I do have Fight Club in there just because I thought it was just such an incredible like intellectual journey. But for me, my top 2 are newer.
Okay.
I'm a huge No Country guy. Dude.
Okay.
I just what Bardem did in that movie was just incredible, and the Coen Brothers are incredible. Both of mine are actually Brolin movies.
Okay.
So I love Sicario as well. I think Sicario, the score, the way it's shot, like the whole cartel.
I'm just going free association. Crimson Tide popped into my head.
Yeah, okay.
Crimson Tide there.
All on my list.
A lot of Gene Hackman movies.
Yeah.
Any Gene Hackman movie goes right there. Oh, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
There you go.
Now it's flowing.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah. See, these are like real answers. I feel kind of like weird now. My answers are so like.
No, it's okay. But like that because they're all connected. I needed to hear what you were saying because it's like No Country. That's there. You know. But then you got what's The Firm?
Oh, yeah,
Firm.
dude. These are. What about Heat?
Heat. Oh my God, Heat.
One of the best shootout scenes. Maybe the best shootout.
One of the best
in history.
Godfather. You know, Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah,
it's a good one. There's the way I'm like looking at is TBS. Wednesday night. That's kind of what I'm like. That's kind of how I'm
The
looking
Rock.
At it. Yeah,
Like,
so it's that's a good one with us. Last Crusade, Indiana Jones, Last Crusade.
Yep.
Sean Connery.
What about Interstellar?
Interstellar, definitely.
He's got.
yeah.
He's got his 3. Interstellar.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Interstellar. I like The Prestige.
Prestige is awesome.
I love that.
That's one that doesn't get enough.
No, it does
It
not.
does not. It does not get enough
Dude,
love.
there's a few Hugh Jackman movies that go way under the radar.
Yeah.
Somehow. The other one I think is called Prisoners.
No, he's not in that one.
No.
Oh, Hugh Jackman, yes. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I heard you say
right?
Gene Hackman.
Yeah, no, Gene
Just
Hackman.
like another
Prisoners.
great
Prisoners
movie.
is an
Yeah,
incredible.
I have not seen Prisoners.
Oh, dude,
I gotta
very
watch
good.
it.
It went so far under the radar. You have to see that movie.
Done.
Dude.
Wasn't Jake Gyllenhaal in that?
Yes.
He was.
I remember watching it the first time. I'm like, I can't believe I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with the marketing. We'll save that for another day.
Yeah.
I'm sending you this list.
Please do.
Like at weird movies on here. Assassination of Jesse James with Brad Pitt was an incredible movie, long character piece. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Have you seen
my book?
Have you seen The Gentleman?
No.
The Gentleman. It's a movie and now a show on Netflix.
Okay.
Wait,
No,
no,
I
you
haven't
had to have seen it.
It's newer. I thought it was so fucking good with
Okay.
Matthew McConaughey.
I haven't seen
Gotta
it.
watch it. Gotta watch it.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's solid.
You gotta go. Cole Trickle, Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder killer.
So we're sorry, A24.
Yeah.
We have him nerding out.
Yeah.
This is like him.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It was the wrong question to ask. At the end of the
You're
show.
asking, and it's like now I'm like, oh man. But if you want to go fight movies, let's just go fight movies. Requiem for Heavyweight. If you haven't seen it, one of the greatest fight movies ever.
Wow.
Harder They Fall. Awesome. And then there's one with Kirk Douglas, Champion, which is great. I love.
You said Requiem and you scared me a little bit because I thought you were going to say something else.
Requiem for Heavyweight. It's
But you know which movie I'm
yes,
talking
I know
about.
exactly what you're talking about.
I don't only watch it one time.
Exactly,
guys.
and then you
Requiem
gotta
for a
move
Dream.
on.
Don't ever go back. to it. It's horrifying.
And then The Harder They Fall is
Yep.
another great.
That's
one
a big one,
with Bogart.
Yeah.
But I love westerns too. You got to. There's like
Unforgiven.
Night Moves is a great one with Gene Hackman. The Unforgiven is great.
Yeah. 310 to Yuma.
Okay,
Is that
you know
what it's called?
That's the what's American Sniper.
Oh, now we're
Yeah.
at war?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
come on. Don't start on
Yeah.
war. American Sniper,
Yeah.
Lone Survivor.
Oh, my God.
The greatest of all time, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Obviously, what started all
and
of
then you
this.
have you got Apocalypse Now, Platoon. You know, it's insane. We're lucky. We're lucky that we have all this stuff to watch.
Very.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
know what I love is when somebody tells me a movie that I've never seen. I'm like, yes. Or I tell somebody when I tell somebody a movie they haven't seen, I'm like, oh, you get to experience that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to send you this
yeah.
list
So
and
I'm
you're going to see
excited.
it. And on a final note, thank you for bucking the trend of shitty movies.
Okay.
Because you'll notice that
Man.
so many movies we just brought up were like 90s, early 2000s, 80s. There's a reason why we're not saying as many movies now. Thanks for bucking that trend,
Thank
Benny
you.
Safdie.
That means a lot.
Thank you, man.
What a pleasure. This
Thanks
was
for coming
fun.
on our
Wait.
show.
Oh.
I have one more question.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to ask you.
Yeah.
All right. Because you're obviously like, you're a very legitimate director.
Okay.
And I'm curious about your take on AI filmmaking.
Okay.
Oh God, A24's pissed.
Well, the thing is like the way I look at it is AI is it's assuming that we've learned everything that there is to learn. It's only about the past. I'm wearing a shirt that says "Remember the future."
Sick.
You know, AI is only as good as right now. It will never take you one step further.
What about SI, super intelligence, where it starts to learn for itself and then it crushes?
I don't know what that.
laying the foundation.
I don't
for
know what that is.
civilization. Exactly.
I don't know what that is. You want me to go back to that?
No, because I think, I mean, no, it feels inevitable that we'll get to a point where it's actually better than it is right now because it can self-learn.
Yes.
And it'll study all the films we all just named.
Yeah.
And why they're gray. And
But then it's gonna be a variation of that. And I think that there's something that happens. Like, I love all these movies. I'm trying to make something because I've seen like Raging Bull or Fat City. You know, I've seen these movies and I love them. And then there's something that happens that's just chemical, you know, and it's biological that I think you can't lose. You know, it's like there's a conversation you're having with that when you watch it, when you know that, you know. That's why I think the question, is it AI, is always there, is because you want to know if it's real.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, what happens when we get to the point where we can't tell?
I think you'll always be able to tell.
No way.
I think you won't know, but then you're going to find out.
Oh, okay.
You're going to
Okay.
go and find out.
And then what? It kind of like takes away the
Yeah,
allure.
totally. Yeah, exactly. It's like, then you're like, oh, okay. And it's like, I'm not saying that like the technology isn't like you can use it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying that like I have hope in human beings.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, this has been great, dude.
Okay.
Thank you,
Killer.
bro.
Thank you so much for your time, Benny.
Awesome.
Ladies and
Thank
gentlemen,
you.
Benny Safdie.
Oh, go watch Smash the Machine on
In theaters,
Yeah.
October 3rd.
October 3rd. That's what I was
Nationwide.
pissed.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nationwide.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Hey, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.